are lots of things all around us, exciting things that surround us.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Things that go up, things that go down, things that go pop, things that go round, with special cameras to show you inside. It's going to be a big surprise.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Do you know?
Let's find out!
Hello, I'm Maddie, and today I've come to an old-fashioned railway station. It's a museum for trains. Have you ever been on a train? It is a steam train, and it's really noisy. Did you hear that whistle? Look at that steam. There are lots of different types of train. There are steam trains, electric trains, and trains that run on diesel. But a train needs to travel along something. Do you know what that is? That's right, it's train tracks, and we have some of them just here. But how does a train get to the right place and change direction? Do you know how train tracks work? Let's find out. How does it work?
Train track!
You must never go onto or play near a train track. But this track has been closed and all the trains stopped. So I have special permission to go onto the tracks to show you how they work. This part of the track is called a junction, and a junction is where the track splits in two. Can you see there's one going straight up under the bridge and another one going off to the side? To control which route a train will take is this section here called the points. It's a piece of the tracks that can move from one side to another, and they're moved by this. It's called a rod. The rod is connected to this hut, called a signal box, and it's where the signalman controls the tracks. To control the tracks, he moves signals like this, which tell the train driver whether it's safe to go, a bit like traffic lights. But I think we need to take a closer look. The signal box are lots of levers which pull the rods and wires that run alongside the track. First, the signalman pulls the black lever. This changes the points on the track from one side to the other. Then the blue lever is pulled. This stops the points from changing while the train is moving across. Finally, the red lever is pulled. This lowers the signal, which means the train can travel safely ahead. The train driver sees the lowered signal, so can carry on going, on to a different track. It's really clever, isn't it? I'd love to see a junction working, though, would you? Let's go take a look inside this signal box. Wow, look at all of the levers. Can you guess how many there are? There are 37 of them. There are red ones, white ones, black ones, and even blue ones. This is Andy, and he's the signalman. And it's Andy's job to pull the right levers at the right time and tell the train drivers when it's safe to go. So how does Andy know which lever to pull when? Up here is a map of the train tracks, and it tells Andy which lever controls which point and signal on the tracks. While Andy changes the levers, he's given me permission to go to the closed part of the track to see how he sets a path for the train. Can you see here? This is the rod, which is connected to the black lever in the signal box. And the rod is connected to the track points. Here, can you see? I wonder what will happen when Andy pulls a lever in the signal box. And because he's so far away, I'm going to talk to Andy using a walkie-talkie radio. Okay, here goes. Hello, Andy. This is Maddie. Can you move the points, please? Here we go.
That's no problem. I can move the points now.
Thank you, Andy. Did you see that? That was so exciting. Andy pulled the black lever and the points moved, so the train can get onto the right tracks to go in the right direction. Andy, can you pull the blue lever to lock the points, please?
I can do that now.
Wow, did you see that? Finally, Andy is going to reopen the train tracks so the trains can run again. I need to get safely off the track and onto the footbridge so he can lower the signals. There are 2 signals, one further up the track and this circular one next to the points. Andy pulls one red lever for each signal. Right, let's see the train drive over the points. Here comes the train! I've put my special camera on the front of the train so we can see exactly how it changes tracks. Did you hear that? Wow! There we go! How brilliant was that? The train moved on to the other track. Hi! That was all so much fun. What was your favourite bit about seeing how train tracks work? Do you remember what you call the section of track that moves? That's right, it's called the points. Did you hear the sound from the train whistle? And did you see both the signals change on the track? Trains can be painted in lots of colours. Do you have a favourite colour train? I think I like this green one best. But did you know that there are different types of paint for different things? You see paint everywhere, on trains, cars, houses, and even furniture. I love painting. It's really fun, isn't it? And I'm going to paint this stool here a lovely blue. But do you know how paint is made? Let's find out. How is it made?
Paint.
To find out how paint's made, I've come here, to a paint factory. Here, they make all kinds of paint in hundreds of different colours. But today, they're making a type of paint that goes on walls, and it's called emulsion. They are making hundreds of pots of emulsion paint here, so they need lots of ingredients. And it all starts by weighing out the dry ingredient on scales. It's a bit like weighing out the ingredients for a cake, only much, much bigger. There are 4 different powders that need to be measured in just the right quantities. These will all help to thicken and whiten paint, because even most coloured paints start out with a white base. Next, all of the wet ingredients are measured in here, and they're put inside this big silver pot. The main wet ingredient is water, and this batch of emulsion needs 350 litres of it. That's enough to fill 4 bathtubs. The big pot is called the disperser, and that is the disperser blade. It gets lowered down into the pot where it will spin round and round to mix all of the wet and dry ingredients together. But first, we have to turn it on. Here it goes. All of the water is swirling round inside, and it's time to add the extra ingredients. But I've got my special camera and a light so that we can see what's happening inside. Ready, Joe? The dry ingredients we measured earlier are poured in through a grate, along with some liquid chemicals, which will help keep the paint fresh. Whoa! because the disperser blade is spinning really fast and it makes a lot of noise. A liquid called resin is added, which binds all the ingredients together. And then the disperser blade is left to spin for a long time, over 2 hours. It's time for a cup of tea. That's a lot of spinning and a lot of waiting. But eventually, it's ready.
Wow! It looks so different!
I love how it's glooping off the disperser blades. Ooh, it's making a pretty pattern here. Looks a bit like a snowflake. The paint is pumped out of the disperser along these pipes. Now the paint's been mixed, it needs to go in a can. And for that, we use a filling machine. Whoa, it's like a paint shower.
Wow, did you see that?
But there's still one more thing this paint needs, and that's colour. To give our paint some colour, we use this. It's called a tint machine, and inside are different colour liquids. They're called pigments. Look there. There's a green pigment and a yellow pigment. You select the colour that you want, and then you put the can under the machine, and then the pigment squirts from the machine into the paint. Little bit of blue, green, orange, and lots of yellow. But all of these colours need to get mixed together to make one colour. What do you think that's going to be? To find out, the can is put into another machine called a paint shaker. Look at that! The can of paint is being shaken around to mix all of those colours together. It's like it's dancing. Can you shake like a paint can? Wow! And here's our final paint. And it's a lovely lime green colour. I loved seeing how paint was made. What was your favourite bit? Do you remember the name of the big pot the paint was mixed in? That's right, it's called a disperser. Did you hear the noise it made as the blades span really fast? And did you see the shaker machine shaking the paint can? So the next time you see someone painting or you do some yourself, you now know how paint is made. And now you know how train tracks work to move a train from one track to the other. Right, I think it's about time to put this paint to good use, don't you? See you next time.